Today we're going to be building a powerful desktop computer that is capable of gaming, 4K video editing, and general media consumption. As far as specs go, I want at least a quad-core processor with hyperthreading for a total of 8 usable cores, at least 8GB of RAM, USB 3, an SSD, as well as mechanical hard disk, Wi-Fi, card reader, and a decent graphics card. And I want all that for under $500 in Australia, which equates to around $380 US. I plan on buying these components both secondhand and new. So, how did I do? Let's find out. I started off browsing eBay for a secondhand tower. Certain sellers had 20% off, so ended up going with this Lenovo S20, which cost me $199 with free shipping. The specs were really good for the money, and it also had Windows 7 already installed, which was a bonus. When I initially started using the tower, I realized they'd sent me one with the wrong CPU. Instead of getting it with the advertised W3550 3GHz quad-core Xeon CPU, it had a much inferior dual-core 2.53 GHz W5505 CPU. They ended up refunding me $50. To me, it seems like they knew they were lying about what they were selling. So buy with caution and make sure you thoroughly inspect what you receive. Luckily, I found 2 slightly better quad-core Xeon CPUs for only $29 with free shipping. Overall, the system performed alright with the Nvidia Quadro 2000. However, I knew I could get something far greater for not a lot of money. The AMD RX 460 would have been ideal, if you could actually get one close to the retail price. At MSY they cost around $94, making them by far the best performing GPU under $100. However, they were all sold out. I tried to call the Adelaide City store, but I had no luck. On eBay they were costing anywhere from $163 to $356, which at that point is not a good deal. On Black Friday, I managed to pick up a Gigabyte GTX 1050 GPU for only $135, which does perform marginally better than the RX 460 and was much cheaper as well. So, GPU sorted. Next, the SSD. I went with a 250GB WD Blue SSD, also from MSY's Black Friday sale. I went with a 250GB one as I found 120GB just is not enough once you've installed all of your applications. So to future-proof it, I went with a 250GB model. It's not the fastest SSD by any means, but it is a massive improvement over the current mechanical drive running the Lenovo S20. I was originally going to go for a Samsung Evo 850 for $124, but felt sacrificing some speed for a saving of $20 was worth it to keep the total build's price down. I'll use the slower mechanical drive to store Steam games. Since this machine only had USB 2.0, I bought a brand new USB 3.0 card from MSY. Last of all is this $19 TP-Link Wi-Fi card, which is far more convenient than running a long Ethernet cord to my room. Adding in all of these parts was fairly straightforward. The old Quadro card should be fairly easy to sell. One sold yesterday for over $100 on eBay. I didn't have any mounting adhesive, so some zip ties should hold the SSD in place. The big plastic PCI card holder didn't want to close with the much larger GPU in its way, so I removed it entirely. However, it was actually holding all of the PCI cards in place, and I could not get the screws out that were mounted upside down. So the plastic holder went back in. Even after removing part of it, there still wasn't enough clearance. My trusty cutter made short work of the plastic that was in the way. If the internals were visible during normal use, I'd probably do a neater job. Last of all, I added one 6-pin power connector to the GPU, and it's done. So, that brings this build's total cost to $471 Australian dollars, or around $358 US, just under our original budget. For the money, this machine performs great. In fact, I unplugged my current computer and just started using it. Upgrading the GPU from a Quadro 2000 increased the Cinebench R15 score from 49.11 FPS all the way to 74.02 FPS. In Minecraft, the differences in average FPS were big, with the Quadro scoring 203 FPS and the GTX 1050 scoring 320 FPS respectively. CSGO saw a huge increase, jumping from 54 FPS all the way to 195 FPS. So, to summarize, this computer has been great and ran everything I had to throw at it. I'll also be editing this video on this computer, so I'll add my thoughts about it on screen now. So, once again, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. I'll catch you in the next video.